You need to know this: do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on? Today's topic is, should I file the I-90 or 765? Okay, so here's the deal. All right, I'm just trying to join the other networks here. All right, so what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Today's topic is, should I file I-90 or 751 as a conditional resident? So, of course, this is a topic of the day, but if you have any questions not related to this, you're welcome to comment down below, and I'll try my best to get to it today. Now, lately, we've been getting a lot of wonderful questions, and unfortunately, we're not able to answer all of them just because, I just practically speaking, there's not enough time. The other day, earlier this week, I went at least 2 hours straight. So I normally don't do that. So, but I appreciate everyone's trust in that respect. Help you point and go in the right direction. Now, please know that if I'm not able to answer your question, or if I do, and you want further clarification or follow-up, you're welcome to give us a call. It's 720-740-4247. I have to say it out loud like a telemarketer because TikTok, I'm technically not allowed to type in my number or something. Apparently, that's what I've heard. So, by the way, if you enjoy our past shows or this one, to answering questions, the way we share content, information, it's really important for us to share information. We believe the more knowledge you have about immigration process and your rights, the better decision you can make. Okay, and you can maybe prevent immigration problems to begin with. But if you find value in this, please go to reviewtinglaw.com. Or, you know what? Give us a thumbs up, tap the screen on TikTok, or hit the hearts, okay? Greatly appreciate it. Now let's get down to it for topic of the day. Should I file I-90 or 751 as a conditional resident? Now, the answer is 751. That is the purpose of that form, is to remove those conditions. Now, I do have on there as a question, should I file I-90? And that's because some people already filed that. Now, if you're a conditional resident, you do not want to file the I-90 because it can be confusing. The title of it, if I believe, is renew or replace green card or resident card, but that does not remove the condition. So this is a very important topic to prevent, if anything, a delay. Maybe not a problem, but a delay. Well, still a problem because technically if USCIS does not receive your 751 application within the time period, within those 90 days of before your card expires, then technically they can refer you to immigration court. Doesn't happen for everyone, surprisingly, but for most people, they do. So you just want to avoid that kind of problem, right? So because you may have filed the I-90 on time, but it's not the correct form. So, but that every time we get a call about that, I wish you all the best, but that's typically because every scenario we've got a call about that, it's because you're representing yourself. Fortunately, I haven't heard a lawyer filing the wrong form. That would be pretty ridiculous. But let's see here. The other thing is, well, what happens if I haven't filed it on time? Now I'll share more hot tips here, other than which form, but what if I didn't file within those 3 months before the 2-year expire? It's okay. Just file it as soon as possible, okay? Even if your case is referred to court. Do not wait until court to file the 751. Don't wait. Because a judge, if you go to court and the judge says, well, what's been going on? How come you waited? Have you filed the 751? And you're like, no, I meant to do that here. No. You can provide them a copy in court to a judge and a government lawyer, but they expect you to file the application to USCIS and sooner than later, okay? So do not wait on that, okay, once you realize you didn't do anything. Because when you get your green card, I don't believe there's anything in the mail. It's one of those, like, it's not even like a FedEx large envelope or anything. So it doesn't feel like it is. They try to make it significant. They have like a little pamphlet, flyer, but I don't believe even on a flyer, it could be wrong. Maybe I have to take a look again. It might not tell you, oh, you need to remove your conditions. So, and plus USCIS, that's not their responsibility to tell you. It's up to you, right? So that's why it's good that you're on this channel on any of these platforms so we can help share that advice with you. And no, you don't need a lawyer, but certainly to make it easier for you, we're here to help you prevent those problems. What else to know? Let's say you get divorced, or you're in a process of divorce, or you're separated, but you're not living together. And you not only know, well, whether you're living together or not, but you're, physically separated. It's separate, living separate rooms. And you're like, I'm done with this guy. I'm done with this lady. That happens. We get a lot of calls about that. You still can file the 751 without the divorce order. Yes, the instructions online on the 751 instructions do say in terms of evidence, they want the divorce order. That's always the best case scenario. But I know, like in California, they have, I think, pretty strict rules. You have to be separated for a year before you go through the actual divorce proceeding. I think that's the way I understood it. But in Texas, they don't have any rule like that. You can get a divorce in like 2 months as soon as you file it. That's the soonest. I mean, assuming both people agree. So that kind of give you an idea. Hello, nurse from Connecticut. All right, so I can go on and on about tips about that, but I want to answer some questions. And let's see here. I know that I just want to answer a couple on YouTube. Then I'll switch over to TikTok. Hey, good morning, Anu, Emily. If a couple recently got married, should the file with limited evidence or wait to build more evidence, such as at least bank account, joint bank account, insurance policy, and travel photos? I recommend, especially in 2023 trend, getting cases waived. And, if you have an interview, that's not a bad thing. But if you get your case waived, then to get the case waived for interview and it's based on marriage, you really have to provide as much evidence as possible. So I would wait to build the evidence. No, I wouldn't wait until like December 2023 to build the evidence. So if you're talking about it for a friend or something, I don't think it's about you, Emily. I think your case already filed, right? So probably a friend, then they need to build evidence. But maybe a couple months. It shouldn't take long to build up some kind of evidence. All right. So okay, to Andrew on TikTok, when can DACA get green card? Yeah, DACA holders can get the green card, but if you're trying to get it while in the United States, then you need to be able to make sure you're eligible to apply for advanced parole, and then if approved, then actually travel out, even if it's for a day or an hour. Okay, hopefully that helps. All right, let's see. Next comment or question here. Karine Moran. Hello, you have a question. If you have a deportation, okay, hypothetical, but you're a domestic violence victim. Yeah, so I don't know what you mean by you have deportation. Do you mean you have a removal order from the past, or the case is still ongoing? Either way, you can apply for U visa or VAWA. You can still apply for it, and these days with Biden administration, you can get your case reopened if it's already been closed. Okay. Let's see here. But at least for U visa, you don't even technically have to get your case reopened, actually. Let's see. Sarah says USCIS is taking so long. Hell yeah, they're taking so long. That's pretty freaking ridiculous. Especially for, a lot of applications, but especially for waiver, 601A. This is very unfortunate. Happy to help. If it's a situation that it's considered unreasonable delay, then we can file a mandamus lawsuit. But please call in to see if it's taken that long for your case. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Tasha, 32. How long after your biometrics appointment do you receive your combo card? There's not a set time period, but our case experience has been usually like 2 to 3 months. But if it's based on marriage, you might get the green card before you get your work permit. Can't promise, but some clients have had that situation. Of course, if you get your green card already without the work permit, then you're not going to get the work permit. You don't need that anymore. The green card will act as proof of legal ability to work. Okay. Abel Telez, working after DACA was revoked, should I file taxes with your DACA social or ITIN number? I will continue using the social security number that you already been issued, because the social security number doesn't necessarily mean that it's a work permit, right? So it's a separate situation, and social security number is only for Social Security Administration. But yeah, in the future, some people ask, well, what's the point of filing taxes? Well, you never know in the future if you are eligible for immigration benefit, and especially if you're in court. And a lot of the applications require discretion by a judge, and part of that discretion decision by a judge includes reviewing your good moral character, and that paying taxes to IRS, to the federal government, is one very significant example of showing good moral character. Okay, other than not having any arrest or something. Let's see. Y'all have a lot of questions. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, I forgot to swipe to the right because that shows the questions a lot larger on my screen. This whole time I've been squinting. Moncheese, how long after NBC approves all docs are people getting appointments? That's another $1 million question, because I don't have the answer to that, but just it's hard to share case experience on that because every consulate or embassy is different. Even within one embassy is not always technically the same. But yeah, you say you got all the docs filed and uploaded, so you got documented qualified. Oh man, most people have been waiting a year. If I had to give you like an example based on experience and also the consultations we've had, I would say about a year. If you get it earlier, that's great. You might want to consider expedite request if you have facts for it. Okay, what would be possible reason to hold on cases like I-4? Oh, I-485 application based on approved VAWA. No reason. If you mean from USCIS standpoint, it's just generally just because they don't normally prioritize VAWA 485 based on VAWA. Unfortunately, even if it's based on a U.S. citizen have committing the abuse, they still just take longer. I'm not sure. They don't share the internal workings like that. But maybe it's eligible for a mandamus lawsuit. Okay, get in touch with our office. By the way, so if you're just now joining, welcome to greencardguys.tv. Our phone number is 720-740-4247. Or you can go to our website, greencardguys.com. If you're a little shy, go on there, download a free guide, get a chance to read that. We have answers to common questions and estimates step by step. Or you can fill out a form, and we're happy to, our care team member will give you a call within 24 hours of business day. Fine dining only. I see. You eat a Michelin star or what? Well, I get to do you have to do a DNA test at petition for your kids if you're a green card holder? You would typically only do like a DNA test if you think, if you're like, for example, if you're like the birth certificate doesn't have their names per se, and your state Bureau of Vital Statistics is not able to change it, or you don't. But anyway, of course, so hopefully it helps. I don't know if that answers your question, regardless if you're a green card holder or citizen. But yeah, just simply being let's see here. James, in the meantime, on YouTube, James, you said U.S. citizen file I-130 for kids less than 21. Until now, there's nothing. My question, how long should it take? Are they here in the United States? That's my follow-up. Are they here on AOS, or maybe you need to file AOS? But if they're abroad, that's not AOS. AOS meaning I-485. But yeah, you're saying there's immediate relative, so it should be faster, right? Ooh, July 2020. My friend, they probably misplaced your file. That's way too long. But if they're here, if the kids are here, then this is considered immediate relative, then they can file for 485. Okay. As immediate relative, you can wait. It automatically waives unlawful presence. So hint, hint. Okay. TE, green card interview has been pending for 4 years based on approved VAWA. I know you commented before. I didn't know that. I don't think. Do you mean interview meaning you already had the interview? Or the application itself, 485, has been pending, but no interview yet? So TE, my question to you on YouTube do you have the interview? Okay, James, the kids are abroad, but yeah, that's still a heck of a long time. That's probably something you want to file a lawsuit. And you can always, James, you could check if anyone in a situation like James for helping his kids or other situation, and you think it's really taking a long time. I mean, if you want to get an idea, check the processing timetable. But again, it doesn't really matter what it says in processing timetable. It could say 100 months, but that doesn't mean you literally have to wait 100 months to file a lawsuit. Okay, so kind of give you an idea. All right, sorry. Back to TikTokers. You have a pending I-90 renewal. Can you file for citizenship while waiting for it? Yes, you can. As long as you're eligible for citizenship, you can file for it. Okay, go for it. 3 and 5 year rule. 3 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen who sponsored you, and yeah, sponsored you. Simone Green, does USCIS respond to RFE? Do you mean like they acknowledge your file? Whenever we send a response to RFE, we have noticed that they do what do you call that? Acknowledge it. Like they're actively reviewing it. They're not reopen. They're reviewing the response. That's just generically what they say. Reviewing response. But that's it. They don't mail you something. They don't mail you anything. The only thing on the other way is just a decision, I would hope, for you. Okay. TE on YouTube says no interview yet. 3 times of 3 inquiries, but no answer. Yeah, that's why I tell folks. Like earlier this morning, someone asked if they should just wait for the time period to be able to even freaking file inquiry, and it's about a week. I think August 8th or so. That's when they're eligible to do that, or the window period able to file inquiry. But typically, if they respond, it's like within 30 days, and they could just say undergoing background check, or we'll get back to you. That's just generally what they say. So it's frustrating. Okay, Eli, if your work visa is expired a long time ago, what are your options to stay here in the country legally? You said my baby. I don't. Does that mean you have a baby? Or you? Yeah, it just depends if you're eligible for. If you overstay, it depends if you're eligible for immediate relative. For adjustment, I guess. You got the background. Okay, VAWA case approved in 2021. Apply at the same time. Background got checked. It was fine. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to tell you, hey, background check came back and it was negative or not good. They wouldn't tell you that necessarily, especially not USCIS inquiry. But you would know that in advance, even before you file, right? Okay, back to Emily. Sorry, one moment, Emily. Oh my, Chantel. How do we get affidavits from family? We don't have a lot of pictures. Yeah, I mean, most of our cases actually don't require affidavit. I would only include a declaration, letter, affidavit from a family member or a friend, mutual friends, if you lacked financial evidence. So, number one evidence for marriage is financial evidence. And even for us, if someone tells us, look, I'm not willing to do that, you're not a client for us, because that's a red flag to us saying, look, if you're not willing to commingle funds in at least one bank account, then something's fishy to us. Okay. I know some of y'all are a little bit shy to share your money, but you gotta do it. You gotta trust your spouse. Okay. Otherwise, I don't know if that's the marriage for you. User, bunch of numbers. Do we have J1 waivers? Any success stories? Yes, we have. Our success story, I could say, is more on timing, actually. Usually they take a long time, but we treat J1 waivers like any other waiver case. So with that being said, some people might not want to pay that fee, to be honest, because we do a really in-depth representation on that. So But yeah, I mean, the first option before even trying to file a waiver is to see if the country of nationality allow for the no objection letter if they offer that first. And we've had success on that too. Okay. Okay, back to Emily. Okay, if the individual truthfully states that they didn't work unauthorized on 45, however, that will happen. If this is yeah, you said married U.S. citizen, yeah, it's automatically waived. So even if they work unauthorized without a work permit for a day, 2 years, 10 years, it's waived when marriage to a U.S. citizen because it's considered immediate relative category. And I've shared on the YouTube channel before, at least, that yeah, that's automatically waived. I share the USCIS policy manual on that. Okay, Cleo Cubs. What other ways can I get my green card if my husband wants a divorce with no response yet? I don't know what you mean by no response yet. Is that no response from the government or no response from a divorce case? I'm assuming you mean immigration. It sounds like you filed. Your husband started the process and you filed applications, but still no progress on it. But the thing is, yeah, if your husband already wants a divorce and you can't lie, right? You can't lie, of course. And some people call and say, hey, well, what if my spouse goes to interview and I encourage him to go to the interview? You know, it's not going to work. It's going to be bad potatoes. Okay. It's going to be real bad because you can't, I mean, in general, you can't control another human, but, or shouldn't be able to, but let's say before the interview, your spouse agrees to go to the interview, but then even though you're separated and want a divorce, but then at the interview, something triggers, especially pandemic. A lot more people have different triggers and yeah, just different behaviors happen. And you just don't want that because at the end of the day, you likely will get a denial letter and will say some USCIS officer will write down something about inconsistent statements, meaning inconsistent answers from both of you. It's just not a good look. All right, Callie, can you apply for DACA if you've been arrested? Depends on the arrest. Just arrest in general only doesn't mean you cannot renew for it. But as far as I know right now, as you're thinking about first-time applicant for DACA, I don't believe they changed that. I believe they still stopped it. I could be wrong. Let's see here. But if you have a conviction of certain type of conviction, then that's going to block you. But if you just say arrest only, that's not enough to deny DACA. They might hold the application until you get a resolution though, because they do require biometrics. So you got to give them, they'll check your background. Hello, what does it mean when your case is currently with an adjudicating officer? So that basically means an officer is literally reviewing your file finally, because right now I know there's a new status that they've been showing actively reviewing, but that doesn't actually say actively reviewing with an adjudicating officer. Adjudicating meaning it's going to be processed. It's literally in the process. Okay, so that is a good thing. So hopefully you get a decision sooner or later. Rhonda Maxwell, what if the husband divorced during a viable case? Yeah, I mean that's fine. If you get divorced during a viable case, that's completely fine. Yeah, because the rules don't say you have to get divorced by the time you file a VAWA. But I answered this yesterday. But if you get divorced and there is facts of abuse, whether emotional, physical, you definitely want to file the VAWA before the 2 years, the 2 years after divorce. So you need to file within a 2-year period after divorce order. Otherwise, if you wait to file VAWA after 2 years after divorce, am I saying this right? Then you're going to get denied. So you got a 2-year period. So honestly, as soon as you get divorced, file it ASAP, the I-360. Okay. Muzamio, sorry, I don't see the full name. Thank you for the rose. Appreciate it. Sama, can I send evidence if USCIS hasn't asked for it? You can. Thanks for the rose, Isaiah. That is possible. But I think in this situation, I don't know if you have a lawyer, Sama, but if, because it's not like you can just send in evidence like every month, you're starting to think like you want to be strategic and send everything as much you can at one time. So one example I've been sharing on live shows and whatnot quite often is if you haven't taken a medical exam yet, you need to provide that. Now, one hot tip about the medical exam is that the default rule, as many of you know, it's a tough decision, I know, for many of you. You need to take the COVID-19 vaccine. If you don't want to, that's cool. That's your decision. I took it. That's my decision. Okay. I don't care what you do. But if you don't take the vaccine, you need to apply for the 601 waiver. And that is, I think, almost $1,000 for you at the DHS fee. Okay. And if you don't want to take it because you don't want to take it, that's not a good enough reason. Okay. So read the instructions. Make sure that your reason fits their situation. Because unfortunately, if you don't have a reason that fits that, you should take the vaccine then. Because you're trying to get the green card. I know, silly immigration rules. If you file I-45, I think you mean the 485 pertaining to special immigrant juvenile visa, is how long would it? You have to wait for the green card. You have to wait. It's just based on visa bulletin. Okay. I believe EB4 category. So check that out. That's when you can file the 45 based on SIG. Let's see. Okay, back to YouTube. I think there's a couple. Oh yeah, I got a couple here. Let me see. If James, you said Senator Warnock. Okay, Atlanta, Georgia. You inquired, and the answer was that we should not inquire again until next year, September 24. Ooh, 54 months. Yeah, James, that sounds like you need to file a lawsuit, because any congressional office, they're not going to tell you, oh, you know what, you should file a lawsuit. They don't give legal advice, right? So, and I think earlier you said, James, that you filed for your children who are under 18 or under 21. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Let me see if I can pull it up on the. You probably found this. You submit inquiry before, it sounds like. So let's see here. Let me pull it up real quick. I don't know what's going on. Whatever the congressional office told you, waiting that amount of time, 52 months, that's pretty ridiculous. It's time to file a lawsuit, okay? Assuming I got the category correct for you, it's time to file a lawsuit. All right. TE, green card interview you haven't had that yet. You've been waiting for 4 years. I'm assuming, TE, that your abuser was a U.S. citizen. So yeah, that's too long. You may want to consider a lawsuit as well. Okay, I'm gonna switch over. Sohail on TikTok, can you give information about asylum green card application when your physical presence? Great question. I love all these questions. Thank you so much for trusting us to answer your question. Try my best in like 30 seconds per person. Yes, generally there is a rule that you have to have at least 1 year of continuous physical presence. If you're an asylee, USCIS or even the court approved your asylum application, 589. In the past, before this year, everyone had to literally wait 1 year. But because USCIS knows, before you actually file the 485 application, but because USCIS knows that the 485 application based on asylum status, asylee status, takes so long, like several years, they're being flexible. They say, go ahead and apply now. So if you just got granted approved asylee status, let's say like yesterday, you can literally file the 45 application tomorrow or the same day. So I know, seems a little strange, but they allow it. So let's see. So yeah, I'm pulling up on my screen here, processing time just based on this. 45 based on asylum granted. And I'll just pick all field office, get processing time, and see, it says 30 months. So what is that? 2.5 years? So that's pretty ridiculous, right? So that's why I think, this is one of the ways that Biden administration is trying to make it better. Just get the application in, because it's just in general human nature. We forget things. That's why with our team, if you get residency through us, if you get a visa through us, we set a calendar event as a reminder on when to do the next step, when to remove those conditions, when to apply for citizenship, when to renew the visa, because we know you're busy with family, work, and we want to be there to guide you from start to finish, all the way until you become a U.S. citizen. That is our pleasure to assist you. Now to bolts, you just got a prima facie determination for VAWA. What does it mean? Not too much, in my opinion, but I mean, just depends. Is this based on U.S. citizen spouse, then you can file for 45 and what do you call it? Work permit 765, but not too much. Doesn't mean you have like any kind of status temporarily. Okay, it just means that they prima facie in general means just a quick overview, quick review of your evidence, documents like that. You're eligible for VAWA in general, but that doesn't mean you've been approved for VAWA. Okay. Actually, that would be great if USCIS explains that in a more, appropriate way for y'all, because I don't think it actually explains that. Let's see here. B Black. Sorry, I've been meaning to get back to you. Can working out of status be forgiven if green card holder parent files for you? No, unfortunately not. It can only be forgiven if you have someone who filed for you that would be considered immediate relative. So, B Black, just based on your profile photo, I'm assuming you're over 21. But if for some reason you're under 21, and your parents become a U.S. citizen, then that's considered immediate relative. But I suspect you're over 21. So otherwise, if it was immediate relative, or if if eventually get married to a U.S. citizen spouse, then yes, that does waive unauthorized work without a work permit. The Noli guy, can you get a 485 approved if your visa isn't current yet? No. The visa bulletin has to be current with your current with a C or with your priority date. Okay. No, the USCIS will not approve it before that. And this is assuming you're here with non-immigrant status. Okay. If you're here without non-immigrant status, you overstay your visa and you haven't failed to maintain status, which is a lot of people. Okay. You may not be the only one assuming that's your situation, safely assuming, because many people call us and they have not maintained status. Okay. So then you're likely going to get denied anyway. Okay. So be ready for that. Don't be surprised. I'm not Kwame. Can I send my medical if they're not asked for it yet? You can, but don't get frustrated if they lose the file and they don't put it together. Okay. But it's worth a chance to try to mail it in to the address that's on the bottom left of your notice, 797 notice. Okay. Unless you get a transfer notice and they move the file somewhere else. Junior, can you just file I-130 for spouse? You can, but you want to know big picture. I-130 by itself doesn't mean you're going to get the green card status. It also matters how your spouse is going to be eligible for residency. So just knowing the game plan, what's going to happen after I-130, right? Do you need to file a waiver? Things like that. There's a lot of analysis that we provide in a strategy session, which is a great time to offer again for y'all right now. Since you're joining us live on a show, we do offer a free strategy session for 15 minutes We might go a little longer, might be a little less, but we really want to help point you in the right direction if possible. You might not be eligible. Sometimes we have to be the bad news bears and share that, but I really prefer to share that with you than you continue paying attorney fees, because I know time is tough. Okay. A lot of people getting laid off, whatnot. No, don't be lazy. But a lot of people getting laid off and not able to pay certain bills. So I get it. That's another reason we offer a strategy session at no cost for 15 minutes. Now, if you want more time, you want guaranteed more time, then we do require paid consultation. All right. And you can go to our website, greencardguys.com, to schedule that on your own. Marie, can you file for citizenship if you have bad credit? Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen anything to say that they checked the credit report. The only time I know the government required it was with President Trump. And that was with the public charge form I-944. But USCIS requires that. The Biden administration got rid of that, fortunately. You don't have to provide a copy of credit report. Polygoddess, if you filed Varvawa and you haven't received any response, your situation is getting worse. What can you do? I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything works out for you. I don't know what you mean by situation getting worse, but if you're still living with your perpetrator or abuser, you got to get out, okay? Find a safe space, safe place to live. Of course, it's easier said than done. Contact a shelter near you, or maybe in a different city if you got to get out from a different city from that person. But in terms of USCIS, unfortunately, it is typical they take definitely more than 1 year. They don't prioritize VAWA cases, unfortunately. TE on YouTube, file a lawsuit. That's what I recommend. Okay, it's been 4 years. That's way too long. Yeah, I'm scrolling back up now. TE, you also asked, is there an option for applying for citizenship if a person has been more than 7 years in the U.S., you have to get a green card. Okay, always. It's either visa, green card, resident status, and then citizenship. You can't skip from like visa, like F1 to citizenship. That'd be great. Maybe they should charge like more money for that. But no, you gotta be a resident first, for sure. Okay, DSF, made for Europe. What documents and evidence do I need to remove the green? Honestly, I can't answer that question in full depth. I mean, the first thing is joint bank account. It's really similar evidence as your first case. It's nothing much different. The only thing different is if you're divorced or you're separated, then you need something. Even if your divorce case is not completed, you need the petition for divorce, or however you call it in your state. Okay. But if you don't have a divorce order, that doesn't mean hold up on application. You got to file that 751 application. Okay, but the USCIS instructions, they have a sample list. Okay, otherwise we're happy to help you. Okay, from start to finish. KG, what's up? Is there any way to speed up EAD? You applied November 22. You're a med student. Wish you the best. Wish you the best. That you needs it for residency apps. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could try. You could try expedite request. They have made it more difficult to request it, to submit the request. I say submit in quotations because it's not like they don't have an online application. You've got to call in. You can try Emma, the website chat, but for a while we haven't seen it available. But you can try that. They don't ask for documentation, but you could try it based on like, typically it's job loss. That's how they phrase it, but you could say job opportunity, I suppose, or no job right now. And yeah, you're a med student. I would definitely use that information, but they don't ask for proof on the spot on the phone call. They'll email you afterwards if they need more proof. Okay, sometimes we've had it where they approved it without asking for documents, but we ask clients, if we do it for clients, we ask clients if they have any evidence or documents prepared in case USCIS asked for it. Ooh, okay, that was a bunch. Man, I'm really trying to speed through these tips and point you in the right direction. So if you don't mind, if anything, share our channel with your enemies, friends, and neighbors or colleagues if you know they might have an immigration question or about to file a case or their case is stuck. We're really happy to help people, point them in the right direction. That fulfills our mission to help people live and work in America legally. So on that note, we do offer free, no-cost strategy session for 15 minutes I have to share a number like a telemarketer because TikTok doesn't allow us to post it. It's 720-740-4247. If that was too fast for you, then go to our website, greencardguys.com, or Google search my name. Sohin, can someone on H4 dependent visa travel to Canada for vacation? Yeah, as long as it's valid. I don't see why not. I mean, the only caveat in travel is if someone has an arrest or serious situation, conviction, or something like that. Okay. But in general, it's valid. You can. TE on YouTube asks, is there any way to expedite 45 because a group of people chasing, abusing you? No, they don't expedite 45. There's no expedite request. I tried one time. They don't allow it. Which honestly makes sense because only a mandamus lawsuit would expedite that in that sense. Okay. So yes, it will cost money, unfortunately. Anu, you said you got a Noid on a 360 and want to open it. Sorry, I don't know if you have a question on that one. COVID is a nasal vaccine in India, and most countries are way more safer. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Anu. Oi, you got an RFE on 693 medical exam, marriage based to you. Is it likely my interview will be waived? Yeah, likely. Because and if the RFE said in the past, before the past year, before 2023, if they were to send any document saying need medical exam, they would say courtesy RFE or courtesy notice, bring the medical exam to the interview. But if yours didn't say that, then most likely in 2023 your interview will be waived. So let us know in the future. I wish you the best. Okay. Yeah, TE, I get it, but they don't allow it. Sorry, no expedite request for 45. Okay, back to TikTok. I mean, TE, you could try, but they don't allow it. You're welcome, Oi. Okay, Anthea. Sorry, folks. I switched back and forth to different platforms, so I may have missed your question when it was pinned. What happened if your deportation case was canceled? I think what you mean is what happens next if your court hearing is canceled. Like you don't have to show up, but that doesn't mean your case is dismissed. Okay, so there's a key difference there. If you're using the EOIR website, you can Google search EOIR automated case information or something. Then that website should pull up, or you type in your A number, the 8 or 9 digits. Anyway, yeah, it won't. It could say like currently not scheduled or no hearing scheduled. But if it was actually dismissed means an order, right? So it could have been like an order removal or a dismissal order. Then it would say that on somewhere on the right side, I think. But it doesn't get dismissed like automatically without you filing motion or your attorney. Okay, they don't do that extra work for you. Applied for GC Trisha in July 2021. Sent in medical in May when they requested it. Nothing yet. Any advice? In May, so that was a couple months ago. Not yet. Sounds like you filed 45. Yeah, not yet. You filed 2021, so it's been 2 years. I probably wait at least 2 more months before considering to file a lawsuit. I mean, we love to help sue the government, USCIS or State Department, embassy or consulate, but I'll probably wait 2 more months. Okay, Trisha. Sorry, I forgot if that was your name. King Salvi. I can only be on for about 10 more minutes, but appreciate all the questions. Happy to help. If for some reason, if I'm not able to get to your question, I apologize. Please send us a message, and I'll try my best to record a video. I've been getting a lot of requests, so I apologize if we're a couple of days late. I gotta sleep some too, and do work and manage my team. But if I'm slow on that too, give us a call. Schedule a meeting with us, a strategy session at no cost to you for 15 minutes. Okay, your N400 still says pending adjudication after your interview 16 months ago. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So if you're in a situation like King Salvi, okay, with the dollar signs, this is the only situation where the USCIS policy manual actually says Sue us. Sue us. 120 days. They said wait 120 days. If you didn't get your decision after 120 days, you can sue USCIS in federal court. So, King Salvi, we're happy to help you, okay? Give us a call. That's way too long. If it's already been, I mean, honestly, if it's been like 6 months already, I just don't think USCIS will get back to you. So you gotta file a lawsuit. It'd be our pleasure to assist you. And typically, by the way, when we file for this kind of reason, based on N400, can't promise for you, but we typically get the oath ceremony or decision within a month. It's a lot quicker than most other case applications. Garcia Silva, can you submit 45 if your I-130 hasn't been approved yet? Illegal entry. So if it's illegal entry, no, you cannot file it. You might not be able to file 45 at all unless you qualify for an exception. For example, I think I mentioned yesterday, if you have a military family member who is in the military or in the reserves, that's considered one exception. Among others, like FAWA, for example. How long it has taken I-130 depends on family relationship, but if it's talking about marriage, if it's I-130 only, I would say about 8 to 12 months, okay? Okay, back to YouTube. You're welcome, TE. Oi, at what point do you get a 10-year GC and a marriage-based AOS? Well, it depends. Did you apply for your documents 45 within 2 years of your marriage date? If anyone applies, gets married, and is in a hurry, or you file your 45, for example, within 2 years of marriage date, then the result is a conditional resident status. Okay. If you wait 2 years and then you apply for 45, then you get straight to the permanent resident card, which is 10 years. Okay. So for some folks are just chilling, not in a hurry. So for those folks, if you're already, we tell several clients when they call us and they're ready at like a year and a half, we're like, just chill out. We're happy to help you get ready, but you might as well wait another 6 months, save you an extra step. So, Oi, you say you got married in November 2021, but I don't know exactly. Maybe you shared it earlier. I don't know when you filed it. So you likely actually filed it within those 2 years since, I mean, that would make sense since 2 years from now would be November 2023. It's not that time yet. So, Oi, if you're going to get approved, it's going to be the 2-year card, conditional resident status. Chevy, can I repeat that military parole in place? Yes, absolutely. So military parole in place, you can have a parent, spouse, or an adult son or daughter who is in the military. Okay, and if they're in the military, the benefit, thank you for the service. The benefit for immigration purposes is for people who entered America illegally, without inspection, without a visa, without papers. Then that military service based on your family member. Now, it can't be like uncle and aunt, unfortunately, but you can, we need a DD-214. I think that's what it is for the military ID, for example, discharge documents. So, and it doesn't have to be, the case itself doesn't have to be based on marriage. It could be any immediate relative classification. Okay, your husband is in active military, but still waiting for approval. It's been 10 months now. Yeah, unfortunately, even if, thank you for your husband's service, Jim Pot, even if the case filing itself is based on military service, unfortunately, that doesn't mean expedited. would make sense, but for it to be expedited for military service, but they don't have that set in stone. I believe the only one that could be expedited is based on naturalization, become a citizen. Jaddy, how long 45 take an adjustment status? Depends. If it's based on marriage, then it's much quicker in 2023 if you filed it to begin with in 2023. Let's see. Yeah, only back to YouTube. Yeah, so you're gonna if you get approved, you're gonna get the conditional resident status since you filed in May 2022. Or yeah. Shauna K, is it possible for you to get interview date 60 days time after MVC gives you notice? And I think you'd say notice meaning documentary qualified, DQ'd, you've already uploaded all your financial documents, police certificate of your loved one. No, that's not reasonable these days, unfortunately. I wish it were the case for everyone, but for a lot of people that call us, it's like a year. Sorry, Miss Douglas. It's probably going to be a year. Not every consulate or embassy is the same. Please keep that in mind. So sorry to scare you a bit, but just expect it could take a year. So your spouse and you really have to stick it through, okay? So good luck to you. But keep in mind, Sean, okay, if or others who have this situation, if your case got DQ'd, document qualified with NVC, and you're like, can I get my interview sooner? Yes, it's possible if you qualify for expedite request. NVC doesn't really share much information on that. We had to do a lot more research. So you can text us or message us on here. Since you're on YouTube on Sean K, then maybe better you give us a call or text us at the number right up here. Your email, and we can ask for the NVC expedite request guidelines, and we can send it to you, or anyone else that needs it, of course. Let's see here, because it's difficult to find that on the nvctravel.state.gov website. Aurora, where am I located? Our physical office, our primary office is in Houston, Texas. We do help clients, serve clients who live anywhere in the world, even if it's Alaska or Russia, China, Thailand, anywhere. Fortunately, if you are interested in consultation, or even if you're become a client, we do allow meetings by video call. Some people are shy, don't want to show their face. I get it. I show mine all the time because I want to make sure y'all know I'm real. I'm not a robot. I'm not AI. I mean, I do need to clone myself to get more work done, honestly, but I can't. What happens if 45 for some reason deny while traveling with AP? While traveling on AP? Well, shoot, offer, you need to get here as soon as possible. If you're still out, you need to try to get here as soon as possible. I don't know how it works internally in the system. I don't know if CBP will have it updated in the system, but you definitely want to try to come back. I mean, do what you do, but if the longer you wait, I mean, who knows? Maybe they don't up the system that quickly. I don't know. I would think it's quick. I mean, it's 2023 and the government's finally using WebEx and video conference, so you would think they get it together. But in terms of sharing information, Genpot, which is faster, K1 or spouse? Okay, CR or IR. Don't mess with the fiance visa. Okay, and you might wonder, well, do I have to go to my significant other's country to get married? Nope, you don't have to anymore. The past couple of years, we've had clients and my colleagues have encouraged clients to get married remotely, okay, in Utah County, Utah. So if you want the link for it, if you don't have time to Google search it, but you do have time to text us or give us a call, we'll email you that information, okay? And even you as a U.S. citizen or resident holder, you don't have to go to Utah County to apply for the license. You don't have to be a resident in that county or state. It's pretty amazing. Let's see here. What else? Milk tea lover, love your name. Some of y'all don't know this, but I used to have a boba tea truck with a couple partners, a couple of my buddies. That was in Dallas. I tried to keep that in a DL because otherwise people be asking me for boba. Lawyers be asking me for boba. Oh, man. Fun times. Okay, your husband moved out of state without notice. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Won't talk to you or show up for your 751 interview. He also won't communicate with you. Told you to leave him alone. Oh, sorry to hear that. Your 2-year, what? His 2-year card expired now. So he's the conditional resident holder. Well, if you're the U.S. citizen, then forget him. Let him do his thing. Don't worry about him, because it sounds like you're saying he's the resident. Don't pay any attention to him then. If it's you, if you're the foreign national, you have the 2-year card, then you need to get divorced. And well, either way, you need to file for divorce. You need to get you just need to move on. I know it's easier said than done. Okay, milk tea lover, but just don't think about him. Okay, just move on. You don't have to worry about the immigration case if you're the U.S. citizen. Okay, sorry, TikTokers, back to you, because I don't see any question on Insta. I don't know about y'all, but Instagram does not seem to be the place where the algorithm doesn't seem to work as well. Let's see. Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. I see 99 new messages on TikTok, which means 99 questions, but a USCIS should not be a freaking problem. Can you get married? I don't think I understand your question. Can you get married for permanent residence? If it's out of love, yes. If it's an arranged marriage that is you giving money or anything like that for the purpose of getting immigration benefit, no, you should not do that. But I don't know if that's what you were trying to ask. Anu, back to you. On YouTube, is I-360 decision Noid like always sad, or can be something simpler? Like, want to know how to proceed if you're not in the U.S. Anu, if you need help on that, you need to hire a lawyer to help you with the Noid. I mean, you can mail the documents from India. I think that's where you're at right now. You don't have to be in the U.S. to respond to the Noid, unless you trust someone in America to mail it for you. But if you do, get that tracking number. Make sure they mailed it. Bacante, what's the best way for a DACA recipient to get a green card? Well, I hate to say it, but I mean, the best way is through marriage, as long as legit. As long as legit, okay? But then it's similar to one of the consults had earlier today. If you're a DACA holder right now and you get married to a U.S. citizen and you want to try to get a green card in the United States, then you need to see if you're eligible for advance parole document, okay, to avoid needing to file a waiver. But if, the consultation I had earlier today, the strategy session, the person was scheduled for consulate interview in a couple weeks from now, and he had already purchased his flight ticket, and thank goodness he didn't go. He saw one of my YouTube videos, and I guess I said something like, don't go, and it got his attention, or don't leave. Yeah, if you have over 180 days of unlawful presence, that's a 3-year bar. But if you have over 365 days of unlawful presence, whether you entered USA, if you entered USA illegally without papers, visa, then the default is to apply for a family unity waiver. Alicia Forever, is writ of mandamus worth it for 601 waiver? Yes, because it's taking 44 months on a processing timetable, and then even if it passes 44 months, 50 months, it's going to keep going. Like it doesn't. Yeah, to USCIS it doesn't matter. Now, yeah, so it's worth it because, I hate to say this, if this is Alicia Forever, this is based on marriage case. Sometimes the delay on immigration cases does cause friction, of course, between the spouses for some reason. I don't know why in general, because your relationship should be how it is without. Yeah, anyway, so if you have that inkling, then yeah, you want to file for mandamus sooner. Okay, I really have about. Well, it's been a pleasure, folks. I have. Okay, I'll do one more question, Antonio. Sorry, this is the last question for everyone. Is it true that if you don't have papers and you witness a crime, you can get papers? It's possible. As a bystander or indirect victim, you can. It's always best if, kind of like if you have an investigator in a sense. Let's say it's like at a convenience store and they have cameras, then you want to get that recording. Okay, so don't rely on police to get that. Okay, ask nicely at the place that may have those cameras. And who knows? Sometimes even that camera, they might not have it recorded. So that will be frustrating. This would be considered possibly through U visa. Okay. All righty, folks. Milk tea lover. Okay, last question. Is it fraud because he said he didn't have family in the U.S.? No, I mean, I don't know exactly in what context you're saying that, but if you're meaning you and him, that by itself wouldn't be considered fraud. But if he got papers through you based on fraud, misrepresentation, then that's his problem. Don't worry about that dude. Don't think about that guy anymore, okay? All right, folks. Sorry about that. I got a jet, got a couple meetings. Y'all have a wonderful day. I really appreciate it. I couldn't answer a lot of your questions. There's at least 99 I see. Please give us a call, 720-740-4247. Or if you're a little shy, just fill out the form, answer a couple questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Thanks so much. Peace be with you. See you tomorrow.